Kellogg's cereal ice creams. Have you ever wanted your Honey Smacks to be frozen? Have you ever wondered what Apple Jacks would taste like as a dessert? Have you ever felt that what your ice cream was missing was corn pops? Friends, it's time to eat some cereal. Ice cream. Happy birthday, everybody. Welcome to Cerealsly, where we take cereals seriously. My name is Alex, and I eat and review hundreds of cereals a year in order to help you get the most out of your cereal experience. Every week, we explore what's new and exciting in the cereal world or explore old favorites together. So I'd love to hear what your favorite cereal is down in the comments. Today on Cerealsly, we're taking one step away from our normal bowls of cereal and are instead trying 6 different brand new cereal ice creams from Kellogg's. Early this year, Kellogg's announced that it would release ice cream versions of some of its most famous cereals. And then over the past few months, the details have been trickling in seemingly with no end. But now that they've all been released, there are a total of 6 different cereal ice cream variations, plus another 4 different Eggo waffles flavors. Those 3 are the only ones I don't have today. I don't know why I was such a stickler, but I decided that since this is a cereal channel, I was going to be a purist and only get the ones that are the most directly cereal related. All my self-imposed limitations did, though, was probably make me miss out on more yummy ice cream, which was dumb of me. But thankfully, I did get the rest, so let me show you the very interesting choices that Kellogg's has made. First, we have what I think is the most normal Froot Loops ice cream. This seems like it's going to be fruity and crunchy and fun. Next, we have another Loop cereal, and that is Apple Jacks. Now, already we're in odd territory here. I know that apple cinnamon ice cream exists, but it's not very common, so this seems extra brave. Next, we have Frosted Flakes ice cream. This one has got to be all about the texture of those crunchy flakes inside, because Frosted Flakes really don't have that much to them. They're just corn flakes that are frosted. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will taste more signature and distinct than I imagined, which would be nice. Then we have Rice Krispie Treats ice cream. Now, you could argue that these aren't really cereal-based either, but instead are snack-based because they're based on Rice Krispie Treats rather than just Rice Krispies cereal. But 2 things. First, imagine if it was just plain Rice Krispies in ice cream. That would be even more straightforward and bland than the Frosted Flakes might be. But second, of course, there was a Rice Krispie Treats cereal, which was my #1 cereal of choice when it was available. Now, sadly, it was discontinued in 2018, 2019, and despite online petitions, has never returned. So I'm going to eat this today, thinking of that beloved cereal from my college days. Then we have 2 flavors that I think are extra weird. First, Corn Pops ice cream. We actually did a Corn Pops cereal episode near the beginning of season 1 of this show, and Corn Pops really do taste a lot like the non-kernel part of popcorn with sweetener on them. So this is basically popcorn ice cream. I can't think of anyone who, given the opportunity to use cereal as an ice cream topping, would pick Corn Pops. What a curious choice. But that is nothing compared to our last one, Honey Smacks ice cream. Honey Smacks is some old school cereal. Have you seen a kid eat Honey Smacks in the past, say, 20 years? No, you have not. Sure, it's a classic, but in the top 6 cereals you'd choose to make into an ice cream? That is wacky. I honestly wonder if they committed to 6 flavors before actually looking at the Kellogg's cereal options and then thought, oh crap, we only have 6 sweet cereals total. We're going to have to use Honey Smacks. I think they should have been brave enough to do Cracklin' Oat Bran. That would have been bold because it's also not a kid's cereal, but flavor-wise, that would have been a home run. I will say this for Honey Smacks, it is distinctive in its flavor, so maybe that was a major deciding factor. Regardless, this is the one I'm the most curious about. So here they are, pretty maids all in a row. Which one do you think will be worth our frozen cereal investment? Because in the end, I want to use all of my cereal experience to help you decide if you need a pint of Kellogg's cereal ice cream. Hey, if you made it this far, I think you'd make an excellent ice cream flavor. Would you do me one more favor though? Would you like this video? That would really help me out. All right, I think I am ready. Very different than usual. Usually I have my bowls, my spoon, my trusty milk. This time I've got only a spoon with me. But then, of course, I do have the featured cereal ice creams of the hour. Very excited to try these. I think I'm going to try them in the order that I introduced them. So let's start with Froot Loops ice cream. Normal top, and then, ooh. Well, the ice cream looks fine on the top, but I can't tell that these are Froot Loops. There are certainly no visible chunks right off the bat. Maybe there's a little bit of colorful powder, but that's a part of the cereal that nobody likes, the dust that's like gathering in the bag when you're finished with it. Still, let's give a try to Froot Loops ice cream. Huh. Well, I was not wrong at all. There are no loops in here. The only thing that's in here is Froot Loops dust. What the heck? I don't think I'm missing it. I really think that's the case. That texture threw me off so much, I don't even think I tasted it. So let me give it one more try before I tell you what I thought of it. Well, friends, it is a very mild Froot Loops taste. I taste it in there, especially in the aftertaste. I get the flavor of Froot Loops fruity cerealness, but it is far less bold than I imagined. Geez, are all of these going to be like that? Well, let's put this one aside. I think instead of rating each of them separately, I'm going to do like a put them in order thing before I rate them. So let's go to the next Loops kind of flavor, and that is these Apple Jacks. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Similarly, this one has plenty of dust in it, but I think it's like a cinnamon dust. And of course, I hope you can see it also has this incredible cinnamon ripple going through it. That is way better looking than the Froot Loops ice cream. So let's give a try to Apple Jacks ice cream. I'm going to get me some caramel ribbon in here. Holy moly. This is 10 times better. The flavor, the cinnamon, the sugar is so much more punchy. The aftertaste of the apple is really pleasant, and that caramel ripple going through it is exactly what this needed. I gotta have another bite. Wow, there is so much great cinnamon taste to this. I think that's the number one thing I like about it. Boy, oh boy, what a turnaround from that Froot Loop stuff. This was incredibly better. Now, I still think it's a misnomer. Both of them say that they contain cereal pieces. They do not. They contain ground up cereal. That's very different in my opinion. All right, what did I introduce next? I think it was Frosted Flakes. Let's try Frosted Flakes ice cream. Uh-oh, we're back to no ripple, and it has no color to the dust. This kind of looks just like a lousy vanilla bean, but I don't want to judge it completely off of its looks. Let's give a try to Frosted Flakes ice cream. Blech. Ugh. Boy, I do not like this one. I cannot believe it, but it is less flavorful than the Froot Loops one. And just as I predicted, there's nothing to it. If there was frostedness on the Frosted Flakes they ground up for this, that frostedness has come out into the ice cream, which itself was already super sweet. So what you're left is just cornflake dust. Why would anyone mix cornflake dust with ice cream? This is terrible. Maybe one more bite just to see if I'm getting it wrong? Genuinely, this is worse than lousy. Well, that will be tough to beat as far as bad flavors. All right, I'm really hopeful for this one. Let's try this Rice Krispie Treats. Well, I'm seeing blips of something. Those must be Rice Krispie pieces. Those look far bigger than the other pieces that were in the other one. These might actually qualify as bits of Rice Krispies. Does it say something different? Yeah, this one doesn't say pieces. This one says coated Rice Crisps. Rice Crisps? Why couldn't they just put Rice Krispies? Now, this one also says it is swirled with marshmallow, and I guess I kind of see a swirl going through this way, but it's white on white, so that's not very easy to see. Enough talking. Let us try Rice Krispie Treats ice cream. Yum. It's not as punchy, not as strong of a flavor as the Apple Jacks, but it leaves the other two in the dust. Two major keys here. First of all, they are actually Rice Krispie sized Rice Krispies in this. They're not very crisp because they've been marshmallow coated and put into milk flavored cereal, but at least they're more substantial. You've got something to chew on. But then the ripple of marshmallow that goes through this is so distinctive, is so Rice Krispie Treats marshmallow flavored that it really gives you the nostalgic feels that you were looking for. I gotta take one more bite of this stuff. Yum. I do wish that the Rice Krispies inside were a little crisper. I don't know how they would handle that, but I can tell you this is something. The ripple, the pieces of Rice Krispies, even though they're chunkier, not as crispy, still make this a delight to eat, where these other two were terrible. Now, I don't think it's quite the level of Apple Jacks that really took me by surprise, but it's still good. All right. Let's try these weird ones. Let's go first for the Corn Pops. Who thought this was going to be a good idea? Maybe it is going to be. Well, this one is yellow. Way more orangey yellow than any of the others have been. I don't know if that's good. I still see Corn Pop dust in here. They ground up Corn Pops to put it in here. Just chunk them up and put it in. What are they thinking? Once again, this says Corn Pop cereal pieces, and I declare that to be not true. Did I just get a weird batch? If you've tried these at home, you'll have to tell me. I can tell you that there are no pieces involved here. It is just dust. I've waited long enough. Let's give a try to Corn Pops ice cream. Oh, yuck. A couple of the other ones were lame, but this one I think might be genuinely gross to me. Boy, not only is it something that I've never wanted, it's something that I never want again. Just out of tradition, I'm going to eat a second bite, see if a different experience comes my way. It's like corn-flavored ice cream. I thought the Frosted Flakes one was going to take the cake as the worst cereal ice cream, but you came out swinging, Corn Pops ice cream. This is some nasty crap. I do not like that one at all. Well, here we are at our last one already. Honey Smacks. They don't even have like the frog on it. Isn't he the Honey Smacks guy? I gotta tell you, Honey Smacks themselves just kind of look bad too. They kind of look like butt cheeks. All right. I don't know why I'm in that kind of mood. Let's open these up and see what we got. Ooh, a honey swirl. Huh. I don't know that I've ever had ice cream with a honey flavored swirl. It doesn't even say honey flavored swirl. It says legitimately honey swirl. Could this have actual honey in it? Boy, oh boy, do they print the ingredients small on this thing. Yes, indeed. 2 different listings of honey. First in the cereal pieces, and then also in the ribbon, there is actually honey. Well, before this all melts away, let's give a try to Honey Smacks ice cream. Oh, barf. How could so many of these be bad? All right, let me see what I thought about it. Once again, we're back to complete dust happening in here. So if you like the box of Honey Smacks after the Honey Smacks are gone, maybe you would like this. Again, it's especially in the aftertaste that I get a hint of the classic Honey Smacks flavor, but I don't know if it's worth it. And then that honey ribbon, oh, blah. I guess there's a reason I've never had a honey ribbon in ice cream before, because it's nasty. The other two that had ribbons were phenomenal, and this one sucks. Once again, I should have another taste just so that I balance it out. We have 2 bites for each one. Bad. There are little bits of Honey Smack cereal, but they're like the stalest part of the puff. They're soggy and stale. How could that both be the case? What a journey we have been on together. Let's start giving some reviews from the bottom. I have got to rate Honey Smacks and Corn Pops as the 2 worst cereal ice creams I've ever had and that I could even imagine. These are just bad. Do not waste your money on these 2 cereal ice creams. Out of a 5 scale, I would absolutely give these 0s. They are gross and bad. Wow, how can you screw up ice cream? Then we get to what I would say is kind of the middle range with Frosted Flakes and Froot Loops ice cream. Frosted Flakes is lower. I would give that a 1. It's not like offensive like those are, but it is nothing. There is nothing to this. If you've ever dreamed of having cornmeal in ice cream, that's what this one tasted like. Don't get it. It's a 1 out of 5. Froot Loops, slightly better. How can they get away with calling this Froot Loop Pieces in here when there are not? It's just the dust. So I would give this maximum a 2 out of 5. Then we take an enormous leap up with these final 2. Rice Krispie Treats, I would give a 4 out of 5. I have a deep nostalgia for Rice Krispie Treats cereal. It was available in the cafeteria of my college dorm, and they just had as much of it as you could eat. And I probably had 4 to 6 bowls every meal. That's only kind of kidding. This hit the spot. I think if you're nostalgic for that cereal, you'll like it. I think if you've got little kids who like Rice Krispie Treats, they'll like it. If you're going to go for one of these, don't even bother with those. At least start with the Rice Krispie Treats cereal ice cream. Finally, I think we have the winner. What a surprise. If you look back at my intro, I didn't have high hopes for this. I thought it would be a little bit odd, but it is not odd at all. It is fantastic. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to give this a 5.0 out of 5. That rating is so rare for me, and it is possible that I'm only feeling that good about this because so many of the others were bad. But I think I could sit and eat this entire pint of ice cream, even having had spoonfuls of all the others. It had bold flavors, a fantastic caramel ripple inside. I actually think it should get credit by being an apple cinnamon flavored ice cream. I feel like that's at least a little bit rare. And the cinnamon is the real star of the show here. They did not skimp with the cinnamon. So this is the one that you should run out and get at your local supermarket. Well, friends, we have done it all. We talked, we ate, we came this close to a cereal brain freeze, which I don't think has ever happened before. And now it's enough. If you want to try today's ice creams for yourself, they're starting to be available at all major retailers. I got mine locally at Vaughn's, which is Albertsons in other places. So you should check there if you're having trouble finding it. And let me know, too, if you try them, what you thought of those 3 Eggo waffle flavors. I'm really curious about them. Now, listen, if you haven't yet, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with what cereal or cereal ice cream you think we should look at together in a future episode. Until then, never be soggy, my friends. Bye-bye.